happy to see you all here today. Thank you for spending your evening with us over the next hour or so. We're very excited to share these manifestation skills with you.
And we're going to start with just a minute of tuning in to really clear our energy and be able to receive. So I invite you all to close your eyes for just a minute. Take a deep breath into the nose of golden light, just clearing any tension, breathing out of our mouth, letting it all go. Let's do a couple more of those, just surrendering to this beautiful golden energy, letting go of all the tension. One last breath. So we're going to start in a minute sharing the formula. We want to dive right in. But first, we want to just share that this is different than a lot of manifestation teachings. A lot of manifestation teachings are just really mechanical, and they're about just trying to force or push the outside world into changing. And you can make that work to some degree. It's not that that doesn't work, but what we're doing is this really pure and ancient form of magic. And that's about really operating from the highest good, right? That means what we want to manifest is in the highest good for everyone. And so what we're going to share with you is a way to do that, aligning with the highest good.
Absolutely. And as I was sharing with Daniel and many others over the years, in all the sacred teachings of healing, of magic, of manifestations, of synchronicities, there is always the code of conduct that we must always have the highest intentions to be in loving service for the highest good of all, through and as ourselves, our loving vessels in that positive way. So this is first and foremost part of the ancient teachings that we are all calibrated in manifesting that which is for the greatest good of all, through aligning the desires, the synchronicities, and the confirmations, as we'll share with you here in a little bit about these sacred principles. So thank you for honoring that practice. And what we're really focused on here is the natural energy of creation, which is magnetism.
And that's the key. It's realizing, hey, I want something and it's not manifested. It's because there's a subconscious block there. And when you realize that there's a part of you resisting or pushing it away, maybe it's because we're too needy, or maybe it's because we don't feel worthy of it. And so we're going to talk about that and really clear that from our field. And you might get some insights today about what particularly is subconsciously blocking you from receiving more intimacy, abundance, love, your dream house, or whatever it is. And that's really the key. It's about really taking radical responsibility for your creation and tuning into what are we still not aligned with to receive what we've been asking for. And that's the difference. We're not pushing, we're not forcing, and it becomes this really effortless breathing and surrendering where we allow our intuition to just show us, and then we take the action based off trust. And so let's dive into the formula. Here we go.
Okay, so step one, everyone have their notes out and ready? Okay. Step one is that we are going to reveal the field, because we got to reveal it to heal it. And that is very important, really getting clear, right? Clearing the energies, making sure that you're having the clarity of intention that is totally pure. Now, what does that mean? Well, through and as, and for your highest good means also the greatest good of all. Therefore, making sure that the clarity of what you desire is in that alignment. There is no pushing of other people's energy, of their intentions, of their desires, of their actions. This is all about you, from the center out, as within, so throughout. This is basics of natural science and physics that we're going to really focus in on manifesting these pure intentions.
Exactly. And then now that we're clear on what we're choosing, because we really have to decide. And there's a belief that, oh, I don't feel like I'm worthy of just fully stating what I want, right? Whether it's with a partner or with a house or whatever it is that we truly desire. And so really owning your desire is great. And the paradox is we want to detach from it, because sometimes it's a limiting belief that's holding on to it, thinking we can't get it. And that's actually pushing it away, because people in your life, people you meet, for example, they're reflecting your magnetic field. So if you feel that you really want a partner, or if you feel that you really want a client and you're feeling, oh, I'm not worthy of that, but I still really want it, your body language, your energetic field is actually going to push them away, and it's going to prove your belief right. It's like, oh, look, see, I'm not worthy. Whatever you believe is going to prove itself right. The world is a school, it's a hall of mirrors. So it's never about really blaming the outside or putting power outside of yourself, but it's also just humbling yourself to see the reflections. It's not blaming yourself either. It's just saying, oh, I'm sensing this pattern. How am I allowing this? How am I tolerating this? And when we make a new choice and say, no more of this, and I'm choosing this, and really own that, then sometimes beautiful situations come up. We could lose our partner or a job, but it's really trusting and being like, everything that's happening is preparing us for what we've asked for. Because sometimes things need to move away physically, and especially mentally, emotionally, and in our belief system. So this is a time to really look at, what do we need to shift in our belief systems? Maybe there's a belief, hey, to be a good person, I can't have too much money, or the world is in trouble, so I can't relax. But if you don't spend time at peace, you're not going to show up in the best way for the world. So it's really looking at those limiting beliefs and then really choosing to prioritize letting them go. Because you can do it even if it's been lifetimes, multiple lifetimes. But the first step is really prioritizing it and saying, hey, I'm going to do the work and commit to whatever it takes to transform this block. Because let's face it, without doing that, I'm never really going to allow myself to receive these deeper dreams.
Beautiful. And that's also going to be mixed in. We have some other beautiful healing processes here that are going to help free the field from any of those blocks. So now the next step of really activating this energy is your communication. And I'm talking about your intuitive communication with the world around you, the environment, the energy, the experiences, and all of the other nuances and synchronicities that give you the guidance of when, where, who, what, how. All of those details get to be revealed when you clear your field. You're very, very clear about your most loving intentions and desires, and that purity and clarity then come your intuitional senses and communication. Now, real quick, let's go through those, because there are 6 different languages that are all extremely powerful. And the good news is we usually start with 1, maybe 2 as our top clairs. And then as you work on it, it's just like every other powerful muscle in our body, an energetic muscle of communication. It's also like learning a language, right? Then you become good at interpreting and translating and involving your world with all of the intuitive languages. So the first one is that I like to start with is the most common, the clairvoyant, right? The clairvoyant is the clear inner seeing. So the clear inner sight of how you are receiving your divine communications, whether they're visuals in dreams, or you ask a question, command to know something, and a billboard or a TV or something comes up and gives you that direct clairvoyant visual answer and confirmation. Now the other is clear inner hearing, clairaudience. So clairaudience, oh, thanks for the flash of light. Clairaudience means the voices in your head, right? Those things that you hear, the actual yeses and nos that you can audibly sense in that clairaudient skill. Now we have the claircognizance that I like to call mantuition. That is, the thinking is not really thinking. You're feeling with your mind and thinking with your heart. This is known to be very dominant among most inventors, such as Thomas Edison, Tesla, Einstein, of course, and of course many other great women, as well as the mantuition of clairsentience. Men and women both have clairsentience, which is the clear inner feeling. That means we're talking about the angel bumps and the butterflies in your stomach or hair standing up, those type of examples of your physical body having an energetic response and giving you that very clear communication that we typically don't ignore. right? Has anyone ever felt that time where you kind of ignored what you knew that you knew, but you didn't do what you felt? Yeah. So we get to cover a lot more of that and go into detail and help you hone in on what your most dominant clair is, and then how to really build and magnify the others. Now, the other two come in really handy for having a nose for things, which is, and clairgustance, which is the taste, is the clairalience. That's how a lot of scents come in from lifetimes ago, or from grandparents that may be on the other side of the veil, or these other communications that tell us what to do and when and with whom, and all those great confident decisions that we get to make when we have that intuitional guidance. Now, one little example I'd love to share real quick is a reframe, because I've heard so many times, in fact, even in this last dream reporting retreat, there was one of our attendees, and the example is like, gosh, I keep on getting these signs and my life just keeps hitting me, and then this thing happened and that thing happened, and it's just not working. Well, actually, the communication is so loud and clear that you must only be in alignment with this person, with this type of energy, with these type of environments, and your intuition is making sure that you stay in that super refined alignment so that you can receive the confirmations and synchronicities. As soon as he started to apply that, all of these amazing things started happening, right? So again, shifting your perspective is part of one of the benefits of activating your intuition.
Exactly. And it's crucial to use this navigation system as part of our new operating system. And that's what we're doing next, is now that we strengthen whatever level we are at, whether we're brand new or we're already pretty functional with our intuitive guidance system, it's crucial to use that as the GPS, right? Let's say we're driving our spaceship and a block comes up, right? Our mind will say, this is wrong. But actually, hey, you're telling us that you want to be here. This needs to come up to prepare you, to initiate you, to show you something within yourself as a mirror. And so it's about humbling yourself, to letting go of the judgment and living in a state of innocence. And when we live in a state of innocence, we return to that childlike magic. You hear sometimes there's a car accident, drunk driving, and the kid is fine. It's because they're innocence. They're literally so relaxed. They're not resisting. They're letting the universe flow them where they need to go. The universe is actually benevolent and is always lovingly showing you exactly what you need to know. So it's about letting go of those protection mechanisms enough so we can surrender to the intuition, and whatever pops up is part of that. It's about, oh, I don't want this to happen. It's like, well, if it happens, there's a reason. We need to face it. And so, but paradoxically, the more that we surrender, the less of those hard lessons happen, because we're actually listening, we're flowing, we're not resisting and fighting the pattern that keeps happening over and over again until we finally take responsibility and look within. And so that's the new operating system. It's looking through the eyes of innocence and allowing ourselves to just continue to flow. And what happens is we build momentum. And the key to momentum is trust. And trust means to take action on what you are guided to do. So to really trust, you could say, oh, I trust life, but well, for years you've been told to take this action or quit your job. Why aren't you doing it? If you do that continuously as fast as possible, right? You have a message for someone, say it, even if you're scared they're going to get pissed off. It's like you close the gap, you stop feeding the densities, you get such a high vibration, and that's how you manifest instantly. A lot of times things will just, the miracles will just come, right? We've all experienced that, but we can actually stabilize that state and continually manifest more and more and more effortlessly and instantly, because you're closing the gap between intent and manifestation by living in that state of trust and surrender. You're dissolving those denser parts of the field that you've been attached to by simply letting them go, stop trying to control. And by doing that, it's just, because everything that you desire can be right in front of you if there's no block. There's literally always a block until it's right in front of your face. Then you dissolved all the blocks to it, right? So it's essentially really taking radical responsibility. And when you're decisive about the intuition you get and just trust it, right? Even if you interpreted it wrong, that's a lesson. But it's about really just letting go of the procrastination, letting go of the idleness, and just flowing and having that perfect balance between the masculine and feminine principles, and staying neutral to whatever happens, right? One of our teachers, she talks about being at 12 o'clock, and she has superpowers, can materialize incredible things. literally.
Seriously.
And the first lesson she taught me is stay at 12 o'clock. And that means, imagine that you're a clock. 12 o'clock means neutral, right? You're not freaking out if something wrong happens, right? You're not judging it as wrong. You're not attaching to something. You're just staying neutral. And that
You're
doesn't,
not trying to spread it
Yeah.
too.
you can still feel whatever's coming up, embrace your feelings, but stay centered, right? Like, ooh, I'm feeling triggered right now, but I'm not gonna just lash out. I'm gonna just breathe. And when you do that, you learn the deeper lessons. You don't have to repeat them over and over again because you're staying conscious. You're just literally staying aware, and you're burning off that karma, you're burning off those lessons. And it's much faster to actually advance in life when we stay neutral, because we're not allowing those old patterns to repeat. And the more we stay neutral, then we become this effortless awareness that can then just pull through these miracles, because we're not attaching and we're not fighting, and we're staying in that column that transcends the 3D constructs that we came here to learn and transcend.
Beautiful. That's amazing. And what I'm seeing, just as Daniel, you were explaining that so beautifully, is that just in these last few principles that we shared with you, you're building the magnetism of the center point of your battery, the center point of your energy in your body. And that's through a lot of breath, through a lot of practice, and the trust, right? And this is also part of that battery-like balance of charging, cultivating your energy, and having that balance of the energy, the feminine of receiving that which you feel, and then the masculine of taking action in order for that to reciprocate, right? So now by this phase here, this stage, we're really charging up your magnetism with these practices as we go on. Now, the next point is something, this is a very powerful alchemical formula. And wow, let's see, one of the most powerful examples of this is Alexander the Great. That's right. His mother, a high priestess, taught him how to create crystal grids, how to set a crystal grid around the perimeter of the town or city or whatever it was that they were going to then conquer next with a very, very small army. Huh? Wonder how that happened. Well, the energetic walls of the city, of the intentions of the fortress that had been built and intended, could no longer really hold, or the guards mysteriously fell asleep when the army was going in. So the crystal grids, again, are to be used for good and powerful manifestations, such as this beautiful home that Daniel manifested here in the last couple of weeks. I've also manifested the most incredible trips and client projects, you name it. Everything can be manifest from this physical representation of all of your energetic intentions, knowings, and desires for the highest good. Now, there's a lot more to share with you and teach about that. There's a beautiful formula that is also part of some of the extra work and extra teachings that we get to share with you as we go along here. Yet, for those of you, has anyone practiced with crystal grid work or energy crystal, anything healing work there? Awesome. Yes, I see a lot of you. Yes, absolutely good. Right? Well, even our jewelry is a grid, our body. We're gridding our body, gridding our home, gridding our life, gridding the world. One of the largest crystal grids that my team and I have done around the world, typically around temples, yet this one was around the entire city of Davos in Switzerland. That was almost 200 crystals and quite a powerful beam of light and positive intentions for all of these incredible inventions of regenerative and resourceful solutions for the planet to be funded, to be recognized, to be really embraced. And my goodness, the propelled energy of and from all of these events, and the catalytic, again, the catalytic power of the collective intention, right? That's part of why the Holy Trinity, with a W in wholeness Trinity, is such a powerful witness, such a powerful practice as well. 2 or more, that is an individual witness. That means you are met and matched and reflected, right? Now, 3 or more, you share that with a couple of friends, you hold that intention with a group, with some activation partners. Whoa, watch the magic happen.
It's so powerful and fun. And a great thing about crystal grids is that they stabilize the magnetic field that you want to attract. And so sometimes we make a ritual and we're like, oh, I want this to happen. But then we keep having these negative beliefs and we keep also manifesting, I don't have this, which means I don't want this, I'm pushing it away. And so the crystal grid is a great way of just stabilizing and being like anchoring that field. Like, this is what I choose to vibrate. And it can accelerate and amplify the manifestations, among many other things. And one of the ways that I love doing this also, which we're going to teach both in our class, which is starting in a couple of weeks for those interested, is to basically connect with your higher self and allow them to show you an archetype. It could be a superhero from a film. It could be an actual person. It could be an angel. Yeah, it's the energy, the archetype. It's like a template, right? You don't have to code the whole thing yourself. And then you create a magical field so that you just get the qualities that are pure that you want without all the things that don't align with you. And you basically learn to, like the Druids do, merge with that energy, and then it's just permanently in you as long as you want. But what's good about that is a lot of our times the deepest block of manifestation is the identity. And the identity, it goes deeper than beliefs. It's the collection of all your beliefs. It's the belief that you are limited and whatever else stories are attached to that. And so when you merge with this archetype, it instantly and powerfully shifts a lot of that out because it can't stay in that higher vibration. And then it's basically now magnetically calling in all the new stuff instantly. And it's a super incredible shortcut. So this is what I actually used to manifest this incredible little castle here. It came out of nowhere within 3 days of me doing this. And I used a incredible movie character, and I chose to just get the positive attributes that was super pure. And I actually did it in 5 minutes at a friend's house. And there was literally like 150 people at this party. I was like, I'm just gonna do a little magic real quick. And then my friends walked up and they're like, they didn't even recognize me because I felt so different. I looked different right after doing that. And then the next 3 days, it was like, boom, all this abundance came in, and then the house came in, and then several other incredible things all came in, all within a few days. And it literally makes perfect sense when you look at the actual archetype I chose and the energies associated with it. And so there are ways to do this really fast. And you can't just do that if you're not aligned with the universal laws. There's going to be deep blocks coming up. And so you've got to also do the work. And it's just like the carrot on, that's there is the more that you align, the more that you purify yourself and just learn and choose to align with all of the different universal laws, the easier and faster it is to just merge into different energies and shift energies and just ask for what you want and receive it, because you build this momentum where it becomes easy and effortless. And it's like becoming an airplane, a rocket ship. You have to use some pressure to get out of the atmosphere, but then you do this work and then you become a starship, and you're not fighting with gravity, you're not fighting with the atmosphere, and you can quantumly travel. And we've all experienced glimpses of that. And the key to stabilizing it is using some of these tools so that we're not continually fighting with ourselves. We're not continuously fighting with life. We become at peace and that effortlessness, because we know that if something not preferable is in front of us, that we can totally transform it. And we do it in a way that is aligned with love and aligned with the humbleness of knowing that it's the perfect reflection for that moment. And that's the operating system that we're talking about.
Amazing. So the other point, now we know gratitude, attitude. We know how we posture our energy, we posture our life. These are some of the principles that we know, yet sometimes forget to actually practice, right? It's kind of like putting the cart before the horse, or faking it till you make it. Those, again, are part of the mechanical principles, just the kind of like doing stuff without the actual magnetism around it. So the important part that we really get to focus on is the joy, the celebration, the purpose, the real reasons, the real frequencies and energies that are going to create that essence of love to become gratitude, so that you're living in a constant state of knowing and trusting everything in the present moment. One of the things that I remember from the Dalai Lama, he said that so many people are living in the past, and that causes depression. So many other people are living in the future, and that causes anxiety. Those of us who are happy live in the present. And the present, right? We know the gift to ourselves is made up of an infinitude of nows, of immediacies, of everything of that which is happening with every breath. Not with something that we left behind, not with things that we are projecting forward. Yes, we want to plan. Yes, we want to heal things from the past. And there is a way to keep, again, that centered point and that really focused alignment of that higher vibrational frequency, that gratitude or higher. Right? Gratitude is about 840 hertz or so. And then prosperity, when you're spinning at prosperity, you're going at 1,000 hertz. You don't even know what else is going on because your world is so awesome, right? Yet that's progressive. That means that you must continue the spiral dynamic upward, increasing your magnetism, cultivating more of that energetic joy, of those examples, of that awesome life that is just a symptom, really. It's a symptom that happens naturally when you follow these principles. Being indigenous of South and North America, called the original principles, part of natural law. Biomimicry is how we now relate to it when we utilize natural law or the original principle or sacred economics or any of those other principles, as we use it for, let's say, building homes and making jewelry or who knows what other things. We're basically mimicking nature. So bringing it back again to the innocence, the responsibility of innocence is one of the most powerful ways to really clear anything that could be a little tangly or a little fuzzy in your field of allowing you to experience gratitude in action. Not just saying thank you for something. I mean, really feeling so grateful. You're like, like gratitude tears, right? So happy you can cry. That energy, that kind of feeling is rewarding through you first. You feel it in your body. In order for other people to experience your love, in order for you to share your service, you have to cultivate that energy through you first. And then it just gets to grow more and more. So this energy and power of this frequency dynamic, really embodying yourself as the talisman, as the sacred object of this energetic cycle. And that magnetism, that practice is another essence that is absolutely mandatory.
It is mandatory for this type of manifestation system because you could do it in other ways, but I didn't get gratitude for so long. People were saying it for years. I'm like, I'm not happy. I don't want to be grateful. I went through so much depression as a child, and I didn't get it. And then finally, the first time I tried to use the system many years ago, I just decided to choose, hey, I'm going to be a rock star. I'm going to play music for thousands of people. I had no experience, by the way. This was like out of nowhere. And I just jumped up and down for a minute and just got so excited and felt it. I was like, how does it feel? And I let myself go there. I elevated my emotions so much. 3 months later, I was literally touring in a Las Vegas show with Cheap Trick, the band, and the Beatles sound engineer in this Beatles show, and had thousands of people just seeing me play music. It was quite funny. And
you're living that archetype, though.
I actually wasn't really ready for that. It worked, but then I was like, oh wait. The sound engineer was like, who's this guy? But that's another lesson, right? Where is it coming from? Where is it coming from? So
be careful where you point that thing, because it works.
It works. You're going to manifest what you ask for, as long as you get out of the way. But the gratitude is, they did this study where they tried to change actual DNA. First, people thought about changing the DNA and visualized it. Nothing happened. Then people felt, oh, what does it feel like for the DNA to change? Nothing happened. But then they did those together, and the DNA changed instantly for all the subjects. Why? Because your thoughts are electric, your heart, your feelings are magnetic, and when you combine both of them, you elevate your feelings, you feel it, and you're precise with your intention and/or visual. Boom! Electromagnetic changes the quantum field, changes reality instantly. It doesn't even take time. So this is really about optimizing your perspectives, feeling more, getting out of the way, so you're dissolving the blocks, strengthening those muscles, so that all the codes you mentioned, it's like flying an airplane, right? You want to stay balanced, you want the wings to be balanced, you want to go at a certain momentum, but then boom, you can just start manifesting boom, 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 in a whole new level of flow. And so we want to strengthen those muscles, and most importantly, we want to stabilize that field so it becomes a lifestyle, because that momentum is the real key to letting the miracles, you're just like flowing down a river. And especially when these are challenging times, getting in that flow state is, I think, really crucial to really live our mission, to support the world, and to help co-create a much more beautiful world.
Absolutely. And to always have the confidence of knowing that your guidance is spot on. Trusting yourself is one of the most powerful forms of manifestation. So, I mean, this is really about your own confidence, your own self-worth, your own self-trust. There's all of these things that are, again, the symptom. This is just what happens when you follow these principles. And then your outside world gets to reflect that back to you.
It's all about trust. Even if you don't understand some of these rules, if you just listen and take action, even if your mind's saying, oh, I can't do this, that's going to change your life. That's going to shift your timelines. And so I recommend starting there if you're new at this. And whether you're new or seasoned at these different principles, what we'd love to offer everyone and invite everyone to is our Science of Manifestation Mastermind. And it's pretty incredible because we've been wanting to do this for years. We've known each other 7-8 years now. Mm-hmm. And we've taught a few retreats and classes throughout the years. And we finally just distilled all of the best of magical codes to really teach the system, to optimize it, and whatever's in the way, both with keys and our favorite tools and energy tools that can just quantumly shift it, but also with a series of actual meditations and activations to have you experience it and the different frequencies, so that you can remember that frequency and stabilize it. And when we've done this with smaller groups, it's been absolutely incredible. Mm-hmm. And we have so many stories to share. But essentially that's what we're offering to anyone that wants to dive deeper and go on this journey to focus on how to just take a quantum leap into this new dream life that you've been calling it.
Yes, so we're very excited for being able to offer this, because it really feels like, we talk about the dream come true life, and we've had so many requests. That's one of the things too. It's, I've been wondering, gosh, well, what do we share first? And that's why it took us some time to figure out, what do we put together? What is it that really is most useful, most timely, and personally, immediately rewarding? Something that you can put into place and feel the real activations of immediately. And this is it, the science of manifestation. And why we call it science? Because we're talking about natural science. It's natural law. This is what we're going to show you, is a formula of all of these systems of creation that you get to channel through yourself. So this course is going to be 8 weeks long for those of you who are interested, and we'll be sharing more of that information with you real soon. We're almost ready with the website for you.
Yeah, we'll send that out to everyone on our mailing list. You can also message either of us and we'll send it out to you by tomorrow. And of course, we're going to open it up in a moment to any Q&A. We have a few minutes for that. But essentially, each class is once a week. We're going to also record it for anyone with time issues. And it's an hour of an activation and a series of codes to really help you not just learn it up here, but embody it and shift whatever's in the way each time, because we're shifting our beliefs, we're shifting our vibration, we're shifting our perspective, and we're getting insights and clearing and optimizing our intuitive channel and our ability to manifest by optimizing our relationship to the actual quantum field, the Akasha. And as you know, we are one with everything. And we never got taught that in this life. For some reason, they forgot that in school, right? Oops. I think they it must be an accident. But hey, it's welcome back. We are here with the wizard school perspective for everyone that we wish we would have had in school. Mm-hmm. And it's actually foundational, and we teach some advanced techniques as well. But it's important to really remember and align with all of those actual laws, because sometimes we forget. We've heard it so many times, but we're still pushing away what we want by attaching to it, et cetera, et cetera. And so we're going to go through all the common pitfalls as well. And we also have Q&A. So whatever you're going through, we'd love to support you with individually, which we can all learn from, so that we all just literally transform the layers and allow ourselves to dissolve the densities that are pushing away and blocking the things that are actually just in line, waiting. There's a whole queue outside your door waiting with gifts for you. And it's just about opening the door and learning how to do that in deeper ways and feeling safe to receive. And it's actually a really beautiful and intimate transformation. And what happens and is reflected is really just a beautiful gift and lesson. But I think the most important part is the liberation that you feel as you release the densities in your field, and can support others with that as well, to align more and build your relationship to the divine, the true self, that is the oneness that is, building every time you use one of these tools, every time you release one of these blocks, to gain your faith and align with the universe, which is really why we're here.
Yes, so every one of those principles that we gave you in this class today, each one of the weeks will be focused on that major principle. And for those of you who have taken class or seen my slides, you're going to get a lot of content. You can get picture show and worksheets and all kinds of history reports and ancient formulas and all kinds of fun things that we get to share with you. Plus how you can personally really bring that into your life immediately. So that's a masterclass every single week, plus the personal integration that we know is essential as we have developed ourselves and being students and teachers, continuously wanting to share with you as we learn, as we prove it, as we show the success of this is instant. And, it kind of feels really good to do things, quote, right the first time, right? It feels good to be like, oh, that was awesome. Wow, that was like so easy and everything just worked out for me. Because the universe is always wanting to work things out for you. There's a beautiful song from Esther Hicks that is in a remix that says exactly that. Everything is always working out for me, for us, for those beautiful right reasons. So very excited to dive deep into that with you later.
Definitely. We're really honored to have you join us if you so choose. And, just to wrap it up, you're guaranteed to have transformations in your life and to deeply receive rapid miracles, as long as you take responsibility and choose to face with love whatever comes up in your reality and see life as a school. If you stay with that perspective and do your best, then the tools and the remembrance that you're going to receive is going to accelerate and quantum leap your dreams in just a couple of months. And I think it's the perfect time right now in this wild world to align with the universe and receive with all the work we've been working towards, and then be able to share that as stewards of abundance and land and all of that with the rest of the world, to truly just align and co-create this more beautiful world that we're all calling in right now. So we hope to see you there.